How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to an episode or live stream here on Let's Build Twitter. I forgot to schedule this one out in advance. I know you can do it now, I just keep forgetting to, so I'm gonna try to set a reminder or something about every Monday to set these up. I also need to upload some more episodes for you guys, especially channel members. I keep forgetting I have episodes ready to go as is right now. I've just been so busy with work and doing some home renovation stuff, some just small projects, so I'm gonna try to get on top of that. Also in this stream it might be a little bit choppy and I might need to go ahead and pause here and there, so just know that, but we're gonna make it work. Last episode we worked on getting the rest of the search drop down working. We also set up some new routes as well as this layout page, so that way we can go ahead and basically just be able to inject any content that we want. This episode we're going to make it so whenever you click on a profile, it can actually go to that profile and grab the information. So now it's been a little bit since I've actually set that stuff up, so we're going to go ahead and try to set that up. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we get to the point where we can follow people. Probably not at the end of this episode, but eventually. So with that being said, let's go ahead and just start working on this. So I'm going to actually open up some documentation that I have on the side here. That way I can kind of get an idea of how to do what I'm trying to do. So just give me one moment here while I open this up. And what we're basically going to do is whenever we click on something, whenever we click on like a user's profile, it's going to navigate us to their profile page. And we're going to use basically a query parameter at the top, but I got to remember how to actually set it up so that we can have a custom path more or less. And it looks like I was looking at, okay, interesting. So I don't know how we're going to do that for Twitter or for our page, because it's going to be / their username. So it's going to be also interesting because anything which is / is, or anything with / extra, I don't know, maybe we'll figure it out. So let me go ahead and get this up so I can actually see what's going on here. I got distracted a little bit. So I think it's in this file that I'm looking for. Let's see. Yeah, so navigate to something. I guess actually I want to see the app.tsx so I can see how to set up the route. Okay, so what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and say route path equal to / and this is going to be username. So whenever we go to username, we're going to go to element equal to, and for the now we're just going to say users, we're going to like that users profile. Now, of course, we want to make sure this user exists and all of that stuff. So we'll deal with that validation and all of that a little bit later on. For now, I just want to make it so that if we go to / username, it's going to take us to that person's username. So from here, what we can go ahead and do is we need to go back into wherever we are searching. And we're going to do some other stuff as well. But wherever we have the drop down, so discovery search bar clear, so it's going to be inside of discovery. I believe this is kind of messy, and we want the actual drop down. So drop down, and now we have an on click, so we need use navigate in here. So let's go ahead and bring in use navigate. So import and use navigate, and I'm sure it's going to add that. I don't know why my VS Code is messed up. I cannot wait to be more familiar with Vim. And now let's go ahead and say const navigate. Navigate is equal to use navigate. And then that'll be that. And then we'll say, oh, I didn't go down far enough. I guess we already have navigate to user profile. I don't know if we need this. We might need it for e.prevent default. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know if we did have an issue with that. I don't think it's an issue anymore because we set up some things, but well, we can set the toggle drop down to false first, and then we're going to navigate to /, and we can actually do this / $ curly brace, and we need the e dot. Ooh. Okay, so we have the p tag. So we need to, I guess we know the search content, right? So we can go to / search content, I suppose, and do that. And that should actually set that up. I don't know, there might be some more stuff. So this one also has go to @ search content. So actually, no, we don't. Ooh. So actually, so this one, I don't remember what this one actually looks like. Let me take a look at this again. So this one says search for whatever. And then it says, wait a minute. Wait 1 minute. Did they change this? That's so weird. It's like different compared to, it's different like depending on what you put in it, which is weird. But anyway, so this is actually supposed to go to the search page. So actually, we don't want that. So actually, yeah, we can go ahead and put the on click here. So on click is equal to, and then we'll go ahead and put navigate to user profile. And then we also need to go inside of discovery search down results. And I don't think I have it open. So let's go ahead and find that. And now we actually need this here. So this is going to have an on. Actually, we can just put the on click on this guy. On click is equal to navigate to user profile. And we need to make that in here as well. So const navigate to user profile. And I don't know how we're going to actually, because we also need to close the profile, right? We need to, or not the profile, we need to close the navigation. So we need to figure out how to also deal with that. Did I spell something wrong? I must have spelled something wrong. Okay, we need to use navigate in here as well. So let's go ahead and bring it in. Import use navigate. And it's going to break everything because it can't figure out how to import properly. And we will say const navigate is equal to use navigate. And then we'll go ahead and once again navigate, and we're going to navigate to / and then $ curly brace, and this is going to be, we want the username, we don't want nickname. Now hopefully I don't append the @ to the username. I don't think I do, but you never know. I'm pretty stupid sometimes. But now that'll do that. What else do we want to do here? So inside of our drop down, whenever we click on one of these guys in general, maybe, or whenever we click on, ooh, I guess we already have, this will be fine actually, navigate to user profile, although it won't work because we need the username, right? So maybe here, instead of doing this, we'll just go ahead and close out of this. So set, I think we need to call toggle dropdown. We need to call toggle dropdown, put to false, and then we can still have the navigate to user profile there. Theoretically, we could have made this work, and if we took the, so what we could have done, because this needs a key technically, but I don't think we can get the key from this. Actually, yeah, we could, or it needs an ID, right? So it needs a key equal to, and I was going to say user.username. We could say user.user ID. And we could also say that the ID is equal to user.username. And what we could do instead is we have the E, and this one here, the ID. One moment, guys. Let me write this really quick. ID equal to, and this one will also be search content. And then whenever we click, we have E. So we could say here inside of navigating to E, maybe E dot targets dot ID or E dot current target dot ID. And then what we could do is come back into our search result drop down, and we can get rid of all this and get rid of this, and we can make this a lot more simple. So I think that should work theoretically. Let's go ahead and get rid of this. Save that, and let's just try this out really quick. So if we come into Brave and we search for Rick, we click on Rick Sanchez. Let's inspect, see if we see anything. So says /home. So there's no, let's see here. Let's make sure we click on the right thing. And we have the navigate to user profile. This, we don't want it on there. Oh, you know what? We never actually put it on there. So navigate to user profile. And we got an extra curly brace. Save that. And then let's try this out before I have to dip for a second. So now you see user's profile, we'd show Rick, and it also says Rick Sanchez, which is what Twitter does. So give me one moment. I'll be right back, y'all. Alrighty, y'all, sorry about that. It should be good for the rest of the stream. But you can see this is working. I think this should probably, whenever we click on that, should probably clear out the content and set it back to search. So if we come in here, let's go ahead and set our content. So it's a context though, right? So I think we're gonna need to set the content, which we might have as set search content or update search content. Yeah, we do. So let's go ahead and update the search content to an empty string whenever we go ahead and navigate, and we'll probably want to do that for a couple other things as well, but for now we'll just go ahead and do that. And let's actually make sure this looks good. So if we come in here and we actually search for Rick, it clears it. We're at Rick Sanchez. If we search for Rick again and go to like Mort Dog, it goes to Morty Smith, so on and so forth. So now what we want to go ahead and do is actually, I guess, one, we need to get the user's profile, which I think all we want to do for user's profile is basically grab their information, and then we want to just set up something very, very basic. I'm not that concerned about doing it like perfectly. I just want it to kind of work, so to speak, and then we'll kind of go from there, because the biggest thing is I want to be able to make it so I can follow people. So let's come back into our code and let's go ahead and make a we'll get rid of feed and all of this stuff for now. Discovery can go away, navigation components can go away, and then in pages we're going to go ahead and make a new file. We'll call this profile page, or just profile.tsx, and we'll import React from React, and we'll need to import use params from React Router DOM, because I think that's how we're going to get the user's username. And I'm trying to think of anything else we need. We'll probably also want to import a CSS file, so /profile.css, although it's going to be pretty similar to the other ones. We could probably combine all of the CSS for the pages into one single file, but for now it's fine. We'll go ahead and import that, save that. Let's go ahead and close out of some of our search stuff. So we can get rid of navigation, get rid of home. We don't need that. We don't need a lot of this stuff, honestly. I just kind of want the app, maybe our profile stuff, and then the rest of it can kind of go away. So let's go ahead and export, and I believe we've just been doing export const, and this will be called profile, and this will be a React .function component equal to this, and then let's return a div. Whoops, this should be a div. The class name equal to profile dash page. I believe that's what we've been doing. Let me go ahead and take a peek really quick in our home, I guess. So we just called it, I guess we just called it home. So I'll just call this profile, I suppose. So this is going to be like dead simple. It's just going to be with 100% height fit content. And what we're going to have is we're going to have like a top bar. So we'll have a top bar. Let me just do this, I guess. So let's just annotate kind of what we have inside the profile page. Whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. So we have a top bar, which has the user's username and like if they're verified, stuff like that. We have, after that, we have like their profile banner and picture, which is going to be interesting to do because it's kind of like overlaid. Not sure how I'm going to do it. It's actually, what probably actually is their profile banner. And then we have a the content section, or like profile picture, options, and follow. And this is what I want to get done today. The top bar is simple. It's literally just a back icon, their name, how many posts they have, stuff like that. And it looks like it goes back to the feed, so that's dead simple. Let me go back to this. And then the bottom part, the profile banner, that all we'll probably go and do for that is just do like a gray screen for now. And then we'll need to figure out how to do the whole like overlay thing, and then we'll do the follow. And then that's going to be the big thing. I don't know if we can get to point to following yet, so it is what it is. So the biggest thing that I want to be able to do is I want to grab this data and just store it into the profile. Again, this would probably be a really good use of like a context here. The only issue obviously is that you have to wrap the context around the profile, and then you won't really have access to some of the information, although it probably wouldn't matter, because the way that we're what I'm kind of thinking here is that whenever you log in here, you'll basically just have an encapsulated piece of data, or an encapsulated like context for the profile itself that you don't need to basically prop drill. I mean, it's very possible. I mean, honestly, we could just straight up have the user stored in here, except the thing is, once we get to like the middle bar, right, with the follow button, then we have to maybe pass down who the user is. So we got to make we kind of have to make like a decision here if we want to do a kind of like a context for this or a slice for this. I need to go back through and kind of see how to do individual slices for individual pieces. I want to keep this as simple as possible, so that's why I really want to think about what we want to do here. But I guess realistically it probably won't really matter. So let's go ahead and just keep it in this section. So what we'll go ahead and do is let's also import Axios from Axios. And this is not at all that, like, I haven't been doing a very good job keeping things consistent, but I don't really see the need to build a whole context for this, I guess. And realistically, we probably didn't need to use Redux for this either, if we really wanted to be simple. But anyway, so I have our profile here, and we're gonna go ahead and say const username is equal to use params, I believe is how we do it. And let me just double check this code really quick to make sure that's what we want. Yep, so username is equal to use params. And then what we can go ahead and do is we're going to say const profile user and set profile user is equal to, and we're going to go ahead and grab basically we're going to grab the user. So what we're going to do is say equal to use state, and we're going to go ahead and say this is equal to a user. I don't actually know what we call this. I don't know if it's an iUser or a user. I'll have to take a peek. I don't think it's iUser. It might just be user. So if we go to our shared interfaces or global interfaces, let's see what it's called. User. So we're gonna say user, and we're gonna say or undefined, I guess, because it's going to start out as undefined, which is going to make our life a little bit hard, but we'll make it work. It's going to import that, and let's also import use state. We're also going to need a use effect. And really, I should probably set this up the smart way where we cancel it instead of calling it twice. But honestly, I don't really care. I'm going to be honest, this one isn't really detrimental. So what we're going to go ahead and do is say use effect, like so. And we're going to go ahead and watch the username property. And we're going to go ahead and say, I guess we need a async function. So const, we're going to call this fetch profile user, maybe. Whoops, profile user, and this will equal to an async function. You don't have to use an arrow function here. It is what it is. So that'll equal to an async function, and basically we'll say let our request equal to, and this will be Axios dot. I need to take a look at what our API actually looks like, because I haven't actually taken a look at this. I'm sorry. I can't speak. So I'm guessing there's just a slash. So there's an update user. There's a follow. There's a following. I don't know what TR stands for. Maybe that's supposed to say username. How's it going? So it doesn't actually look like I have just a get user. So I don't know what else it would be. I don't think it would be an authentication. So authentication, we have /register, we have update, we have email code, we have verify email, update password, we have login. We have find. It has a find username DTO credential. I don't know what this looks like. What is this find username DTO? Email, phone, username. So yeah, that's not going to be what we need. And this returns what? A response entity of string. So yeah, that's not what we want. Identifiers. So we're going to go into our user controller and we're going to just go ahead and get a / get user. So at get mapping to /, and how do we want to do this? We could probably do this and say username. That'll probably be fine for this, and just return a public application user, and then this would be get user by username. I'm assuming that we have this. We'll see, and this will have request. So we will need at request header, and we'll say HTTP headers dot authorization, and then this will be string token because we do want to be authorized. And then we also want at request, or is it I forget what this is called. I don't use it very often. It is called path variable. Yeah, so at path variable, and this will be username. Whoops. And this will be string username. All right, so now what we're going to go ahead and do is we're just going to go ahead and say return, and we might not find the user, which is an issue, so we might need to deal with that. But we want to go ahead and return. Let's see here. How do we want to do this? It's not verifying or anything. Do we actually need the token? I mean, obviously we need the token so we can authorize, but I don't think we need to use the token for anything. I think we can just go ahead and return user service dot get by username and then pass in username. I don't know if this throws anything. Application user blah blah blah, get by username. Let's just take a peek at what the service looks like. So user service, and this, I think, get by username just fine, or else user does not exist exception. I think we already have a user does not exist exception handler, so I'm not that worried about it. Okay, so this should be fine. We do need to go ahead and restart our application, so let's go ahead and stop and rerun it. So now what we'll go ahead and do is we'll call /users or / whatever this is. I always forget. I think it's just /http://localhost 8000 /API /user /username. We can actually take a look at Postman really quick to see. So Postman, and let Postman load for a second. It's probably going to ask me to update. So let's see if we get to play our favorite game. So yeah, I just said, I guess we don't even have API. It's just straight up /user /whatever, and then we also need the authorization token. So let's go ahead and deal with this. So we're going to say axios.get, and we can go ahead and say we're going to get HTTP /local host :8000 /user / and then this should actually be backticks probably, just to make our lives a little bit easier. So backticks, and then we'll say $ curly brace, and $ curly brace, this will be the username. Although we actually don't need to do that because, well, it's fine. I'm pretty sure we could have done no, we can't do it with path variable. I'm just dumb. We do want this, and we want headers, and in here we want authorization. And I think we have to put this in here. So authorization. Whoops. And this will be a bear token, colon, and then I guess we need to bring in our Axios, not Axios, our authentication slice. So I think it's called authentication slice. Maybe it's just called user slice. Let's go ahead and import our, and we want, I guess, root state. And we also want to grab our use selector. We might need a dispatch, I don't know. Import and use selector. For now, we're just going to grab use selector and root state. And let's go ahead and say const, and we'll say token is equal to, and we'll say use selector. And then this will be use selector state root state. And we're going to return state.user.token. And it should be filled out if we made it this far. And now we'll have our $ curly brace token. And I believe that's everything we need. We need to throw this in a try catch because it could throw that exception and it'll throw like a 404 or something. So we'll try this. And if this is good, let's just go ahead and console.log, and we'll console.log rec.data. And then otherwise we'll catch an E, and then we'll just console.log, and we'll say user does not exist. Really, we'll probably kick them back out to like the feed page, and we need to await this. So let's go ahead and await this and do that. So now anytime the username changes, we'll go ahead and call fetch user. And it doesn't matter if it's already there or anything. We basically just straight up want to do that. So now there is a good chance that I scuffed this. So that's why I wanted to basically try it out and see if it worked. So let's go to inspect and console. So right now we need to refresh. So we say /Morty Smith. I don't see any API calls going. We have a use effect. It should call at least once. Interesting. Oh, you know what? We need to go ahead and pass in profile here. Let's go ahead and throw in the profile page. Profile. Like so. Import it. And now it should go ahead and call the API once it's done compiling. And it says 401 unauthorized. Okay, interesting. Let's refresh this. It says user does not exist, but that's because we're getting a 401. Why are we getting a 401? I'm not seeing anything in here. So, user service. Do we need to bring in? I guess maybe we do need the string token, even if we're not going to use it. Let's go ahead and bring in the token and see if that helps it. Maybe we do need to go ahead and say, hey, we have the authorization. And maybe we're also not doing the authorization right. That's also a good chance as well. So let's try that out and see what happens. So it's literally just a trial and error. So it still says 401 unauthorized, use does not exist. Okay, so let's take a look at here. Maybe I'm spelling authorization wrong or something silly. So I'm pretty sure that's how we do it though. Headers authorization. And we're going to get user/username. And let's just make sure that that's what actually we're looking for. So, yep, it's just /user. Okay, that should be fine. So let's take a look at something else. So let's go into like our user slice maybe. So this one doesn't use one. This one doesn't use one. Yeah, so it just says authorization bear token. And this should be valid right here. So maybe it's not grabbing the token or something else. I'm not sure. Fetch user headers authorization bear. And maybe I spelled authorization wrong. Who knows? Let's try again. And maybe I have something set up wrong. Nope, I just must have spelled authorization wrong. Although it just worked for a second. So why did it work and then not work? So if we say, uh-oh, we broke it. We can't type. Can we type? Let's go and say Rick. Interesting. So that worked, but if we refresh, I wonder if we don't have the token yet. I wonder if we don't have the token. Let's watch for the token to change. And we'll say if we have a token. I wonder if the token's not loaded yet and it's trying to call this before it actually grabs the token from local storage. And that's what the issue is. So if we refresh, yeah, so we didn't have the token yet. Now we don't have the authorities list and we're also not grabbing. So I wonder what we're actually returning from our request. I have no idea. So if we look at this, we're returning an application user, and maybe I shouldn't return an application user. I don't know, but let's see what our model. I don't think I have a login response. A login response returns a the application user, it looks like. So I mean, that doesn't hide anything. So if we go to application user, so we have this. What do we JSON ignore? So we have the profile picture. We JSON ignore the following list. We JSON ignore the followers list. And what about like posts? I didn't see a list of posts. Following, followers. So it doesn't look like I return the list of posts on this. So if we look at the post, we just have a meaning to one with the author. So we're gonna have to make another, and that's fine probably. We can make another request whenever we actually load the post, I guess. So, okay, fair enough. So we're gonna have the information, we're gonna have the bio, we're gonna have, we don't care about the email really, we don't really care about this. We'll have their first name, last name, if there's a profile picture, if there's a bio, if there's a banner picture, so on and so forth. So I don't really think we need first name, last name, or anything. We just need like their we just need their nickname and a couple other things. So let's go ahead and do this. So let's go ahead and start setting this up. So the first thing we want is the top bar. The top bar has like a arrow pointing backwards that takes us to the home page, and it has their username, and then if they're verified, anything like that. So let's go into our features, make a new folder. We're gonna go ahead and call this profile. I don't think we have a profile yet. Make a new folder, call this components, make a new folder, and we'll call this top bar or profile top bar.tsx. Actually, we want to not rename it that. We want this to be profile bar. Now we'll make a new file, profile top bar.tsx, and a new file, profile top bar.css. Now what I'm thinking is we'll probably just pass in. So here we need to know whether or not they're verified. We need to know an organization that they're representing, or like we need the image we need, oh my goodness. So we need the users, I can't think now. We need the users, we need users' username, the organization, and if they're verified. And then we also need the number of posts that they have, which will be interesting because we don't actually have the number of posts on the user whenever we get the request. So that means that we're going to have to do something I didn't really want to. We're probably going to have to, inside a profile, we're probably going to say const post and set post is equal to use state of a post array, and then this will be empty to start. And then we're going to have to do one of these. Well, I can't do it like that. We have to do it like this. And how do I want to do this? Because let's actually go ahead and set profile user here, because I don't ever actually do that. Set profile user to the rec.data. And then, so you know what? Well, never mind. I was console.logging it. We almost need to have a callback function in here. I mean, we don't need to. We can just go ahead as once we have the profile user, we can go ahead and say let so we can say user request here. Let user request, and then user request.data. And then we can say let post request equal to await Axios. And this will be fun because I don't actually know if we have a Axios. I don't know if we have an API for just getting a user's post. So let's take a peek at that. So we go into our post controller. So we have get all post. We have a create post. We have a media post. We have get a post by ID. We have a get a post by author, which is what we want. And we should have the data. So let's go ahead and do this. And then this doesn't look like it needs a token. So I'm wondering if the user controller, we didn't need the token either. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this token. I think I spelled authorization wrong, and that was the actual problem. I'm going to go ahead and save and refresh this. And let's just make sure this doesn't break anything. But I'm guessing I just spelled authorization wrong. Would be my very best guess here. So we refresh. Oh, it's mad because I'm not returning anything. So let's go ahead and fix that. So let's go back to our profile top bar. And let's just say import React from React, export const profile top bar. It was a react.fc, and do this. This is going to take a prop soon, which return a div the class name equal to profile dash top bar. Oops, there we go, and it should stop complaining. I just want to make sure that it was just me spelling stuff wrong. We're not getting a 400. Yeah, we're not getting 400. We're fine. Cool. Hopefully this doesn't cause an infinite loop, but it shouldn't. I think it might just call it twice or something. But this is axios.get, and we're gonna go ahead and get the if we go back to our post controller, we're gonna get /author /user ID. So let's go ahead and say, I don't know why it did that, but thank you. HTTP :// local host 8000 /post /author / and then $ curly brace, and we need the ID. So we already have this, so we can say const user is equal to user rec. Ooh, I think we need to do it in this order, because I think once we call user rec.data, it's like a stream and it's gone. So we're going to do that, and we're going to pass the user in here just to be safe. And then we're going to say user.user ID. And then we're going to go ahead and have this object, and we're going to have our headers with authorization bear. And again, this is a try catch. So we can say user does not exist, or issue loading, You know what? It'll probably be smart to set this in two different ones. That way, if there's an error, we can catch them separately. So let's go ahead and actually say const fetch user posts equal to this, and this is an async function, and do this, and we'll say try. I don't know how I just did that, but okay. I guess did the most perfect keystrokes ever to just absolutely destroy my application, but okay. Catch e console.log. We'll say unable to fetch fetch post, and then we'll know which one's which, I guess. And I'm guessing that this is probably scuffed now. Are you still working, or are you gonna log me out? Okay, cool, we're still good. So post author 1. Okay, that makes sense. There's no posts. Or I don't know why I can't find Rick, but it's fine. We'll deal with it later. And I just realized that this might not work either, because, well, no, it'll work. It'll work. So we'll go ahead and pass in the user, and what we can do is this. Go ahead and copy that, paste that there. We can go ahead and set that, and we can go ahead and grab this, copy this, and we're gonna go and paste this. So now we're gonna say, how's it going, Hamza? And now we'll go ahead and say set post to post rec dot data, and we can actually change this back to just request. So rec and then rec dot data, and then this will be rec dot data and rec. So then we can kind of know which one's which. And so now if we have a token, we do this. And then if we have a username, or if we have a user, I think it's actually called profile user. If we have a profile user, and what we'll go ahead and do is we'll watch. Well, we can watch for profile user because it's undefined. So if we have a profile user, and we'll watch for profile user because it'll go from undefined to non-undefined, we'll go ahead and fetch user post, and we need to pass in the profile user since we know that we have the profile user. And then now this will be profile user dot user ID, and we'll have a bearer token, and we'll set our post. We could also go ahead and console.log. Hopefully there's some posts in there. So right now there's not going to be any posts because this would be user, not user ID, so it's fine. Right now, assuming that this finds the user like it's supposed to. Okay, we have an infinite loop. That's what I was worried about. It can't find author 1. Interesting. So this is no bueno. So we might have to go back to what I was thinking before. I mean, I could have this as a callback function, or I could just call it in here. So after we do this try, we could just call fetch user post. We could call fetch user post here, and we could await it. We could await fetch user post, and then go ahead and say const users equal to rec.data. Rec.data. We could pass user and pass user to that. Except it says that user expected 0 arguments. This should be fetch user posts. And what we could do is we could say, we could actually do this, let user like that, we could go ahead and say user is equal to this. And we can say finally, maybe. Finally, we can await this. This might not like this, but we'll see what happens, I suppose. I don't know why it can't find Rick. So if we come into FwitterDB, let's just take a look to see what our user looks like. So we go into our schemas, public, tables, and our users. And let's see. So go to our data. So Rick has ID 1. So I wonder why we cannot find Rick. And there's a person, oh, that's just the bio, that's fine. So let's take a look at our code here. So path user ID. Oh, you know what? So it's currently, I bet it's coming as a string maybe, but that doesn't make sense. So I use Java as the backend. So we set the user ID and then we get all posts by that author. We're getting a 404. So here's the other thing we could do instead. We have the user ID. I'm thinking we bring in a private. I think I was against this originally, but we're going to bring in private final user service, like this. Import that class, and we're going to bring it in here. So that user service is equal to user service. And what's your issue? We need to pass it in here. Whoops. User service. Okay. And what we're going to go ahead and do is here, when we do author, we're going to, instead of saying new application user, we're going to go ahead and say application user author is equal to user service dot get user by ID. We're going to pass in that user ID, and then we can go ahead and get the author that way. And maybe there's a different issue, but let's try this really quick and see if we still can't find the post. Because even if there's like the post is just empty, it should still just be an empty list more or less. We shouldn't get unable to fetch posts. So if we refresh this, we're still getting a 404 not found and unable to fetch posts. So why are we getting a 404? I'm wondering. So it's not an unauthorized. It's literally a 404. And we're saying author, user ID, and application. So what I'm thinking is we're trying to get the user by ID here. And what if we say, this doesn't make any sense either to do it like this, but you never know. Maybe let's try integer there instead of the other way around. And maybe, although I think it's getting the correct ID. So if we system really quickly, system out print ln and say in the post controller, comma, user ID, put a space plus user ID. Let's just make sure it's getting the user ID properly and all of that stuff and not calling like something else. But I'm pretty sure since we're at /author, we should be in the right controller. So if we go ahead and refresh this, we'll still get a 404 because apparently can't find that. Although it didn't actually. You know what? This should be slash posts with an S. Okay, let's try again. So we didn't actually have to do all that, but it's fine. So now we have post, it's empty. So that's good. And I think I like what this code is better anyway. So we can go ahead and delete this system out print. It called it 3 times. If we are smart about it, what we do is set it up so that we'd set it up so that it tries to cancel it before it gets back, but I don't really care about it. So now let's come back into here. So we have our fetch user post. So we fetch the user profile. After we get the user profile, we fetch the user. We go ahead and set the post and everything, and we're good to go. We can go ahead and delete that. And let me think what else we want to do. I think that's fine. We'll go ahead and delete this. I don't know how that didn't infinite loop this time. Oh, it's because we only run it once. That makes sense. Okay. So now we have the post and we have the user. We have everything we need. So now what we'll go ahead and do is I want to make sure that we have, I want to make sure that like the user's not undefined. So I kind of want to like have a check here. So I want to like basically say like, hey, if we have a profile user, then we basically show maybe like this, right? We'll just have some information. Otherwise we'll have like nothing. So this is kind of weird right now. Looks a little bit weird because it's like, oh, it's like you show nothing, right? But maybe there's like a loading, we do like a loading toggle there or something just for whenever we're grabbing the user information, because we're going to be passing the user info to the top bar, we're going to be passing it to the profile banner, so on and so forth. We need the user profile information there, or the profile user information there, for all these to work. So that's why it's important. So to go ahead and do this, what we're going to do is we're going to go into our profile top bar, and let's go ahead and set up the interface for this. So interface profile top bar props. So again, what we need on this guy is we need the username. So username will be a string. We need the is verified, which will be a Boolean. We need the organization. This will be a string because I'm just going to set it as like an image. And then finally, we need posts, or number of posts or something. Number of posts, which is a number. And we're going to have to figure out how to kind of convert this. Maybe we'll do utility class or utility function or something. I don't know what other utility classes we'll need, but you never know. So the top bar is going to have a div, the class name equal to profile top bar dash, and this will be name section, maybe. And inside the name section, we'll have a div. Do we need a div? We can probably do a P. And class name equal to profile top bar name. And then this will be username. Or actually, I think this is actually the... So instead of username, we want nickname. So this will be nickname. So let's go ahead and actually pass this in. Profile, top bar props, again, hiccups / burps, and we'll go ahead and break out nickname is verified, organization, and number of posts. So now we'll go ahead and pass in the nickname there. This is going to be pretty much just a static prop. we're going to say this is verified, and we're going to basically kind of do what we did inside of that discovery dropdown. So we go into a components and then our discovery search dropdown and this. So we have a verified SVG. So I'm just going to take this and don't look now, copy and paste and stuff. So let's just go ahead and say is verified. Oops. Is verified, and let's go ahead and import this. So now we have that guy. Then we'll do the same thing. Say organization, and we'll just do an image again. IMG and src equal to, and what do we actually do here? We said organization and this. I don't know if that's gonna work because organization is a string. Well, I guess, yeah, we could just pass an empty. That's fine. So this is gonna be organization and then alt equal to, and let's see what we did for alt. I think I did something just very simple. We just said username's organization. So we can go ahead and say backtick and then $ curly brace nicknames organization. Except I don't want all of that. And what happened here? I don't know. I don't know what happened. Nicknames organization. And let's fix this, fix that, fix that. Okay. Organization. So again, fix that. So either we have an organization, we don't, that's fine. And then finally we have a P class name equal to, and this will just be called profile top bar posts maybe. And then here we'll just say number of posts. Although I think I do want to go ahead and right click new folder, except make sure it's inside profile, new folder, utils, new file, a profile, utils.tsx maybe. Is it going to return a, we'll just say ts. Well, actually I'm going to set to ts, and if we need to change it back, we can. And now what we'll go ahead and do is we'll say export const, and we'll say convert number of posts to string, and we'll pass in a number of posts, which is a number, and do this, and equal to, and this to return a string. Now, I forget the best way to do this. There's like an easy way to get the number. Excuse me. Honestly, it's going to be anything over 1,000 and then maybe anything over 1,000,000. And if they tweet more than 1,000,000, there's, I don't know what to tell you. So we'll say if the number, this is going to be like a rudimentary way of doing this. If the number of posts is less than 1,000, we're going to return a string $ curly brace number of posts. Right? We're going to say if number of posts is greater than 1,000, greater than equal to 1,000, and number, oops, and maybe this should be the default. So this is our default. So we have to be greater than here. And what is your problem? String function lacks ending return statement. Is this not a return statement? I might be mad about this. And number of post is less than 1 million. So let me go ahead and get this right. I don't think this is allowed in JavaScript. But just give me 1 second to kind of break it apart. So if it's less than, we need another set. That's 1 million, right? So this is, actually, no, this is 1 million. Cool. So if number of posts is this and this, I don't know what this issue is. Number of posts. Number of posts, number of posts. Export const, convert this is equal to this, it returns a string. What is the problem? Cannot be implied number and number. Okay, I did that wrong. Cool. So if number of posts is greater than this, but it's less than 1 million, I guess that is allowed. Interesting. I didn't know that was allowed in JavaScript. Here we'll return, and how do we want to do this? So we'll return the backticks and $ curly brace, and I guess we'll say is number of posts mod 1000. So that will return, what will that return? I wonder what that'll return. It's going to be hard to really know, because do we have to populate or make 1000 posts? So we'll probably never make that many posts, but whatever. And then if number of posts is greater than or equal to 1 million, again, we're never going to reach this number, but then we'll return $ curly brace number of posts, and then this will be mod 1 million. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, and then we want our backticks on this. I'm just dumb. So backticks, and then we'll say right? So if we have 57,000 posts, it'll say 57K post. And I'm hoping I might have to do some magic with this. I'm gonna look at JavaScript round to 1 decimal. We might want to go ahead and round this to like 1 decimal here. And I'm sure there's a math function that does it. Let's see here. So we can say number to fixed. But what is number? Okay, so we can say, so this is gonna be kind of crazy. I don't know if this is gonna work. Dot, we can to fixed, and then 1. And we're gonna do the same thing here. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap this like this. Dot to fixed and 1. So basically we're going to say, hey, we're going to only have 1 decimal point here, and maybe we want 2 decimal points, but I'm going to go ahead and just round it to 1. So now we have our profile utils. So now instead of number of posts, we're going to go ahead and call the, I forgot what we called this, convert number of posts to string. Hit that, do that, and we'll pass in number of posts, and then here we'll have a space and it says post, except that we need to have this outside of this post. And then of course we don't have any posts right now, so that's just going to say 0 posts, but as we get posts it should be fine. So now we do the fun part of styling this. So let's go into our profile top bar.css. So dot and then profile dash top dash bar, So here our width is going to be 100%. We need to find the height of it. Which is about 53. So height, I'm going to say 55. Just make it a little bit bigger. And position is going to be sticky. Whoops. Sticky. And top 0. So that should stick to the top. We're going to have a background color of RGBA. And this is going to be, I think 255, 255, 255, and then like 0.5. And we also want like the blur, which we have inside of our feed page somewhere. So if we go into feed, components, and then we should have like a feed top bar here. And let's take a look at the CSS. There should be like a, yeah, we want this background filter. So let's grab this and then put that on there. And I think that's everything we need for this guy. And this should be 55px, not 55% px. And if we actually take a look at feed topbar.css, I did fit content, but I think it might be slightly different. So, yep, and we did top 0. We might also want padding and margin 0. I don't know if we need padding 0 and margin 0, but it might not hurt. We might actually want margin on it, or not margin, padding on it. I also forgot there's an arrow beside the name section. So we're going to have to modify this, unfortunately. So how do we want to modify this? So we still need the name section. What we might do is this. So we have the profile top bar. We might have a div. Class name equal to profile top bar left, because this does need a, it does need like a border on it whenever we hover. We'll have a div class name equal to, and this will be profile top bar right. And we'll wrap this entire area in it, and then that should save me from a massive pain in the backside. Excuse me. So then, because of this, we also, if we go back into our CSS, we also need display flex. We can justify content from flex start. And we can align items in the center. And then, so I guess we will probably want a small padding of like 16px, give or take. And we can kind of modify things as we go. Cool. So now we need an arrow. So to material UI, we go material UI icons. So let me load this up really quick. So we need like a back arrow. So let me look for a back arrow. All right, arrow back. Perfect. Let me copy it. And inside of our profile page, top bar, we'll go ahead and bring this guy in. Paste that. And I realized we don't have the CSS in here, so let's go ahead and import the CSS as well. Otherwise, we'll be scratching our head. Why is it not working? So /, and this is profile top bar.css. Okay, so now at the top bar left, we'll go ahead and have arrow back icon. SX, I don't know how big this is. We'll deal with size. But yeah. And this, I guess, is probably black by default, so that's fine. So let's go ahead and do the profile top bar left. And I gotta go to the right spot. So now dot profile top bar left. So I don't know how big this guy is. So it looks like it's got 34 by 34. So width will be 34 px. Height will be 34 px. And then we'll have display flex, display flex, justify content in the center, align items in the center, and the rest we could do border none, and then we could do border radius 100%, and we need a hover dot profile top bar left hover, and in the hover we'll have a background color RGBA, and we need to convert our gray color, or we could just do really light black, so like 0.1 or something. It needs to be like very light, but that should do that, I believe. And then now we need the right, so this will be interesting. So right will be, I guess we'll just like fit content or something for the right. I don't know what else to do, I guess, for the width wise. So I guess let's just take this, copy, and let's do this. So width will just be fit content. Same with height will be fit content. I don't think we need to do really anything else. We might need like we could set the margin and padding 0, but I'm not that worried about it. This one we need to go ahead and set up display flex. So width, what's it going to be? Fit content. Height will be fit content. Display will be flex. And we'll justify content from the flex start. And we'll align items in the center. And I think that'll be it. Again, we'll need to play around with organizations and all that stuff. So that's fine for now. We need the top bar name. So let's go ahead and do that. If I could please click on the right thing. And this is probably 15 pixels like always. This one's 20 pixels. Actually, so font size 20 px. Font weight, I'm going to go ahead and assume it's like 800. And let's go and get rid of the margin. Margin 0. And padding 0. Maybe. And then we can go ahead and adjust margin and stuff on this later. And I think that's it. I mean, obviously organization will want something, but right now I'm not that worried about it. So we do want the verified. So verified's 12 by 12. So I need to figure out like what size we want this guy to be. This one says 20 by 20. So I'm going to say height is 20 px. And then I'm going to go ahead and say width is 20 px on this guy. And what I can go ahead and do on the image, I can just say height is equal to 20 and width is equal to 20. And that'll probably do it for now. If we want some special CSS on that, we'll just make it 20 by 20 for now. Call it good. And then finally, we have a profile top bar post. And we'll see how bad this looks. I'm a little bit concerned, but maybe it'll look okay. So font dash size. This one's probably like 15. Let's take a peek. It's actually 13, so this one's pretty small. And then obviously the font weight is going to be like 400. And then I actually do want to color this one. So let's go to the app and I'm gonna grab the like gray color. We don't want light gray, but we don't want dark gray. So let's grab this gray color. And I don't know, that might be too light. We might need to do dark gray. But I think that's everything that I want for this. So let's go into our profile. And let's go ahead and profile's outside, right? Yeah, so let's go ahead and make inside of our whatever this is called, inside of here, new file, index.tsx. And I don't know if I've actually been doing this or not inside this project, but I'm going to do it here. We're going to import the profile top bar. We're going to export profile top bar. Just makes things a little bit cleaner. We'll go to the top and we'll import profile top bar from features profile. And we're going to throw it in here. So now here we'll have profile top bar, and this needs a nickname, which will equal to profile user dot nickname. And then we need is verified, which is equal to false. And we could set that to true if we really want to look at it. Organization will be empty. And again, we could also steal like the picture I see right now. And then finally, we need number of posts. So number of posts will be equal to post.length. Again, that would be 0 for now. And I think that's everything that we need for this part. So let's see what we whipped up, if it's any good or not. So we come in here. So it definitely looks like if we come into the profile, margin 0 is not doing anything. Either that or we need a margin 0 on this. Something needs a margin 0 because it is scuffed. There should not be that much space in between Rick and this. So what is actually going on with this? Why? Is it the padding? It might be the padding. So we want like padding left. It might be too much padding here. So padding left 16 px instead. And actually, yeah, that'd be fine actually. You can't even actually tell. So we also need like lines on our profile page. So I don't know if we ever actually did the profile CSS. We didn't. Let's go ahead and add dot profile here. And we'll say width 100%. Height was be fit content for now. And border right 1px solid. And we want the light gray. Let's grab this color. And let's throw it into the CSS. And then border left 1px solid. And we might need to change this so that's at least 100% of the page. It's probably going to look really scuffed right now. Yeah, it only goes down to there. That's fine. So why is this so spaced out? So this does have margin on it. So why does this have margin on it? So let's go to profile top bar. Name. Profile bar posts. Did I spell this wrong? Or did I not put this in here at all? I did. Oh, I didn't even put margin 0. No wonder why it's not doing anything. Margin 0 and padding 0. There, it looks a lot better. Now it looks kind of scuffed because it's not very big. But what can you do? And honestly, this looks like a way bigger font size 20 than this. This says font size 20, but this is like way bigger. But it also might just be because of the fact that there's not very much stuff going on and his name isn't very big. So I'm curious to see what it looks like if I go ahead and if we go into our profile and we put true. Let's see if this holds up or not. That is way too small and it's not filled very well. So let's go back in here. So that's a good thing that we tested that. So that's like 12 by 12, I think. So let's make this 20 by 20 and see what this looks like. And we might need to change out this like verified. I think that looks okay. Maybe like 22 by 22. I don't know if this is centered. I don't know why it wouldn't be. That might be big, but okay. I wonder if I could steal this image. I can, but it's kind of hard to grab. So if I also grab this, so I'm looking at like optic right now. So if I grab the optic image and I put inside of here, I think we might go back to 20 by 20. We're gonna need to change, and Material UI might have a verified logo that we can use. But just to test this, let's go to our profile and in organization. I'm just gonna grab this image. Yeah, optic Rick, let's go. So honestly, that's probably okay. That's probably okay size. We might want a little extra spacing in between those. So we might want like column gap a little bit there. So like if we go into our name section, we might want to add like column gap of like 4 pixels or something just to give it a little bit of space. That might be a little bit heavy. I don't know, I think that kind of looks good. I'm gonna look at Material UI really quick to see if there's like a verified. There is a verified. Let me grab this verified because I like this one better. The only issue is that the inside is black, so that'll be interesting. Let's go back to profile top bar, and instead of using verified SVG, we'll use verified icon, and we need to say SX equal to, and we can still add color, I think. It might be font color. I think we can add color and set that equal to this. And it might be font color, I guess. Font color? No. I thought it'd be color. Color equal to the, oh, you know what? It's an object. There we go. Width be 20 px and height will be 20 px. Now what I'm worried about is that this is going to have the inside's going to be like black or white instead of black because it looks like it's see-through. Although this is filled. So I don't know. What's two-tone? I don't like two-tone. I'm a little bit afraid it's gonna be white, but we'll see what it looks like. So we have the color and everything, so let's see what it looks like. Honestly, that's probably fine because it is like in light mode, so I think I like that. Now it's obviously it's gonna be hard to tell whether or not this part's actually working until we fill this all the way out, but I think that looks good. I like that. So next thing that we have to do is put in like the banner and stuff. So for the banner, I don't know, because I think, how do I want to do the banner? Because the way it kind of works is the banner, I think we'll do the banner itself, I guess. So let's just go ahead and do that. And the question is, do I want to... So I don't think I want to do a whole like component for it, because it's just going to be an image that spans across it and kind of like that. So I think what I'm going to go ahead and do is we'll say, and I think right now our profile user, if we console.log, I want to see what our profile user looks like. So console.log user, pretty sure that it's null inside there. I just had this closed, but if we open this, it says object, but if you look at the banner picture, it says null. So what I'm thinking is, I don't know what the default banner picture is, but I'm gonna say like profile user dot banner picture, and I think technically speaking it should be falsy. And I guess we could do this, right? We could do this. So we can just go ahead and make a div, the class name equal to profile dash banner picture, and we can go ahead and say style equal to, and we can go ahead and be like, okay, if there is a profile user dot and then banner picture question mark. If there is, and what we can go ahead and do is we can say background image is equal to, and I think we have to do like URL, and then we can say $ curly brace, and then we can go ahead and say profile user dot banner picture. Otherwise, we'll go ahead and do is we'll say background color, background. It doesn't like background. We need to do this. Otherwise, we'll say, I think we can get background color now. Background. If I could type color, and let's just do like the Twitter gray. So we'll just do like this gray color, I guess. If we wanted to, we could do the blue or something else, but let's just do the gray. Right, so we'll do that. And we still have the class name. So right now, we don't see anything. We should have seen light gray, but it might also be because we don't have anything in the div. So the profile banner is about 200 pixels tall. So if we go into here, so we need to go into our profile.css, and we'll say dot profile dash, we need the banner, I think. I forget what this is called because I have terrible memory. Dot profile banner picture. So dot profile banner picture. Width will be 100%. Height will be 200 px. And we also need to like do like the background image like cover basically. So let me look up CSS background image cover. Oh wait, it like stretches it and stuff. So we want background size. So we have the background, which has like the URL. We want background repeat, which is no repeat. We want background dash position, which is center. And then we want background I don't know if it's background size or background. I forget what we did here. It could be background size, I guess. And then cover. Again, this isn't going to matter if we have like just gray. So yeah, you can see we have the gray there. And you can see this is working. And you can see that it's over. And then if we, let me just grab like a random image. So I don't think I have the Twitter images on here. So I don't know what that, default banner picture, maybe. We can just paste a banner picture in there for now. Let's see here. We can just find a picture really quickly. This is kind of cool, I guess. Can we copy the image address? I don't know if it's going to work or not. But instead of here, what we could do, just to like kind of test it out. So, what do we want to do here? We could say user dot banner picture is equal to this. And then let's see if this actually sets it. And I'm going to delete this after this. I just want to see what it looks like whenever we make it fit in there. Okay, so that didn't work, so that's cool. We have the URL, right? We have URL, profile picture. So it has the picture. URL. I don't think we have to do this. Okay, we do it to that. Yep, and that works fine. So I just wanted to make sure that that looked good. So that's good to go. So let's get rid. Oh, let's put those quotes back. But let's get rid of setting this. So we'll set this eventually in the future on our own. But cool, that looks good. So now the profile picture is interesting because the profile picture needs to be like offset, I guess. So maybe what we do, I'm trying to think about what we want to do here. So we can make, I guess let's go ahead and make a component for this. What time is it? 10:41. I don't know if we have time to make a component for this. I think I'm going to run out of time. I would have liked to get this part done, but I don't think I have time to. Because I have to do quite a bit of CSS. Because what I'll do really quick, I guess, let's make a new component inside profile. We'll call this, if I can make it inside the right spot. There we go. This will be profile. What do I want to call this? Profile. It's not like an info section. It's like I'm just gonna call it follow section. So rename this to profile follow section. Make a new file. Profile follow section .tsx. New file. Profile follow section .css. Now this profile follow section, it has like a circle with like ... and some other stuff. I'm not messing with that. I'm literally just gonna go ahead and say import React from React, and we're going to need, whenever we follow the user, so let's go into user controller, and whenever we follow someone, we need /follow, and we need a linked hash map with the person that we want to follow, followed user. Okay, I don't know why I did it like that. And it's just a string, I guess, and then whenever we follow the user, we just get the user that we want to put there. So I could have made that a lot easier. So interface, we need the profile picture. So let's go ahead and say profile follow section, and what we need is the profile picture, and this will be a string. And I guess if it's null, we'll just go ahead and inject our profile picture there. And then I think I actually have that in assets. Maybe I don't. I thought I had the default. I do have default PFP in there. I don't know why I copied it before, but anyway. And then we need the username. Username string. That way we can actually follow the user. We'll deal with that later. We're not going to follow the user tonight. Export const profile follow section will be a react.fc. Take in the profile follow section. It should be props and props, and equal to. Let's go ahead and break these out. So profile picture, it's gonna, I messed something up, it's gonna be mad at me. We're going to have to fix that. Username, and we'll do this. Okay, now it's fine. Return our div class name equal to profile dash follow section. Okay, this one is relatively simple. So we have an image with a class name equal to profile follow section, and I'll just kind of call it PFP. And this is where things are going to get interesting, and I don't know if we're going to have time to do it tonight. src will equal to, and we'll go ahead and just say profile picture, and then we need alt, and we'll just say curly brace, and we're gonna say username, whoops, $, username, comma s PFP, just to get off our back. We'll have a div class name equal to profile follow section more, and I'm not going to deal with this. I'm going to see if there's like an ellipsis inside, or ellipsis inside of Material UI, because it might be better than using ... here. We could use ... probably wouldn't hurt anything, but there might already be a SVG for us. No, there's not. Let's see if there's like ... There's a more vertical. There we go. So we do have a more horizontal. So let's grab this. It didn't actually copy what I wanted. Copy more horizontal. And we're going to go ahead and put that in here. And this will also need some styling, but we'll style it up. That's fine. I more want to get the profile kind of set up, profile picture kind of set up, and we'll deal with that. And then finally, we'll a button class name equal to profile dash follow section button. This will have an on click and stuff on eventually, and this will say follow. So there's that. Let's go ahead and do the CSS. So we need to import the CSS, of course. So import / profile follow section.css. Save that, and we need to do the .profile follow section. And I think this is what's going to be the important thing. So we want width 100%. We want height. The height we want to be approximately, let's see, we want approximately 68. Let's say, how wide is that padding? 12 px on the top and bottom. So 68 plus 12 would be like 80. So height would be 80 px. We're doing this differently than Twitter, because I think this will make it a little bit easier on us. I think we have to do position relative to make this work. And then we'll have a display, a flex. Oops, display flex will justify content. Does it justify items or justify content? Flex start and align items in the center, except for the thing that we're not going to. So I'm going to go ahead and throw the profile picture here, or so profile follow section, and this needs the profile picture. So here we're going to say profile picture or profile user dot profile picture question mark shoot. So we're going to have to do this slightly differently. We're going to go ahead and just pass in the profile picture. Now the issue is that could be null. So I'll fix that in a second. Then we need username equal to profile user dot username. And we'll need that for other things. So let's just make sure this pops up. The picture's not going to work because it doesn't have a PFP. We have the dot and all of that. So that's fine. We need to space it out. And we'll do that. And we might also group these two together. We might group the follow and the dot together, because I think that's how it's going to have to be. So we might need to do one of these. Div class name equal to profile. Well, actually we can do this. We can do this, and then we can go ahead and say div class name equal to profile follow section left. So what I want to get done is I just want to get the profile picture working properly, and then we can deal with the follow and stuff. So the PFP is the thing that I'm really worried about. So let's go ahead and do this. And honestly, I want to go ahead and say space between, and that'll also do some help. So the profile picture is approximately 133 for some reason. So let's say height is 134. I'm just gonna make it a nice round number, 134 px. Okay, and let's see here. So inside of our follow section, we're gonna say source profile picture question mark. If that's the case, it's gonna be profile picture. Otherwise, it's going to import PFP from, and then // go all the way out to assets / and then default PFP. And then we're gonna go ahead and say, hey, if there's a profile picture, we'll do this. Otherwise, we'll say PFP. So then we should see the PFP. It's already kind of working. Not exactly how I want, but it's already kind of working, so that's cool. So now we need to actually bring it up a little bit, and we also need to go ahead and say like, so if I come back into the CSS, we want a border radius of 100%, and we want a border of 1px solid. And I'm actually gonna do like light gray. Actually I'll do white, because I think we do white like the background. We might actually want like 2 pixels. Now I'm gonna say top 0, and we're gonna see if we can start moving this guy around. So this guy needs to be moved up. So, and actually we might want the border to be like 4 pixels. Now, if I say like top 10 px, I don't know which way this is gonna move. So that's what we need to figure out. So if we say top 10 px, I don't think it moved anywhere. If we say top negative 10 px, doesn't move anywhere. It doesn't move anywhere. Okay. I think we need to say position is absolute. Okay, it did move it. It broke some other stuff. So if we go back to top 10% or 10 px, so it moved it anymore. So we're gonna go ahead. Now I'm a little bit concerned that this is gonna make it so it won't move with the page. Okay, it is moving, and we want it to be about centered. So I think maybe we say top minus, so this is 134. So that'd be like what, 67? Minus 67? Let's try that, because I think I want it about center. So minus 67 px. I think that's about where we want it. Now that broke some stuff. So now I guess what we actually end up wanting, one, I guess we'll go ahead and say left about 16 px, and then we'll also add 16 px on the other side. Cool, that looks good. And then now what we can do is, instead of saying space between, we can actually say like flex end. And then also we can say margin on the right side of 16 px, and that'll kind of even everything out. Except it didn't. We want padding, right? Not margin. There. So now those are kind of evened out. Now obviously we want these lined up beside each other, but this is kind of like the hard part, right? Getting this part to work, where this is lined up quote unquote properly, and this is overlaying this guy. That's the hard part of this. Now the easy part is going to be styling the rest of it. So that's where I wanted to get on Tuesday. We're going to go ahead and get it so this is styled. We can actually click, we can actually go ahead and click on follow, and we'll follow people, and we'll kind of go from there. So thank you all for watching. Hope you guys have a wonderful day, wonderful evening, whenever you're watching this. This has been Ethan Uncoder. I'll see you guys in the next video.